guys, welcome to another episode of Field Sports Scotland. I am waiting on good reviews coming up in regards to products that that's coming out this year and the various wholesalers and that I'm going to be dealing with. So, have you ever been wandering through Instagram, TikTok, all the social media sites at the moment, and you got those stupid little adverts that come up and go like wish.com and Temu.com and they show products that are just, they've got to be way too good to be true. Well, I decided today I decided a couple of weeks ago, because it takes a couple of weeks for these things to come. I'm going to spend I'll give myself a budget, 50 quid, and just buy some random things on Temu and then open them, do a video and see what the hype is about. Now, I don't know what these products are like. I haven't tested them in the field. In fact, I have literally just opened the box, and this boxes of these things, or I haven't even opened them yet to have a look. And I will tell you what I've got. First of all, packaging, I have to say, from Temu is shocking. Absolute shocking. But I've tried to cover everything in regards to outdoor and field sport for the budget of this 50 quid. So I don't know how difficult or how good this product's going to be, or I just don't know. But they literally come in flimsy little packets, boxes that don't have any instructions or anything like that. So let's get into it. A couple of these I'll have a look at today. The one product I can't test today is the supposed drag rope. Apparently the pictures, I will discuss more about that in a wee bit. The pictures say that they're designed to be able to drag big deer. Well, we'll see. We'll have a look at it. I might test that out in the field, but I probably think it's going to be most likely just by any of these drag ropes I've ever tried to use in the past. They're good for roe deer, small sea calf, but once you get above 50 kilos, there's easier ways of dragging that deer than actually having to use this. I'm not sure. But as I said, I've got 5 products, technically 6, but 5 products, and we're going to test them all. So we've got, first of all, we have our, bear in mind I haven't even looked at these, shooting bag. Now, I usually get my shooting bags custom made, so I don't usually buy them. And now, pretty cheap in the packaging side of things. Looks to be kind of good, strong canvas. For all you need is a shooting bag, to be honest. It's got a couple of D-rings here that for attaching stuff to. It's got a loop webbing there. Get an idea of what kind of sizes. I've got some bags of rice here that we could fill out. I knew what I was buying, so I was pretty much ready. Let's see what we've got here. You've got a funnel in there where you can throw your bags of rice in. Let's see. Let's open up one of these bags of rice and see if we can make a mess. You can use anything. Guys use sand. I find sand sometimes a little heavy. Other people will use lentils, pebbles. Actually, the thing that I used to use in the custom ones I get made for me, I usually use poly pellets, and they're absolutely fantastic. They're light and you can position them into any way. I've not got a funnel, but let's try and just empty a bag of this in here. That's not going to work because I'm an idiot. It's going in, it's not opening properly. Oh, as any of you know, I am absolutely useless at doing fiddly things. Right, let's do it that way. Oh. I'm going to get killed because I've got rice everywhere. Stick it on the board. Obviously extend it. But I just want to see what this thing in its whole glory. Get the hoover. I don't know if it's me or the bag's of rice. Oh, there's a cut in the bag, that's why. It's me when I opened it. So there's the main bag. It's looking not a bad size. Let's get another bag in there. If I didn't spill half the rice, it'd probably be better. As I said, I am absolutely useless at fiddly things. But this cost me, through Temu, £3.49. There was other options. There were some at £6 odd. There were some at other prices that were a lot cheaper, £1 odd. So I went for the middle one. It was £3.49 out of Temu. Let's try and be a bit more careful in opening the bag this time. Let's split it. That's a bit better. Don't get me wrong, the bags of rice are probably about 80p each. But I was taking 2 bags already. Let's see if we'll get the third bag. You actually get another, you get the little kind of, it's almost like a little, I think this shooting bag combo is designed for one for the butt, this little one here, and a main bag for the stock. But I tend to use the bigger bag for the butt stock for a butt rest. Yeah, laugh all you want, butt rest. Let's get this third one. This is £3.49 I think I paid for this. I'll get all the prices up on the links and stuff. It's lightweight canvas material. It's quite cheap canvas material. I wouldn't say it's thick. I wouldn't say it's a premium product. There's a lot better products out there. Companies like Armageddon Gear and all that, they do far better products than this. You probably custom make your own as well, so a lot of shooters do these days. If you've know somebody that's handy with a sewing machine like I do, I usually get, I haven't got one, I actually lost one. So it comes with a Velcro bit where it kind of folds over and you kind of tuck it under there. So, seems not a bad. Put another couple of bags of rice in there, I think it would be a good bag. It's got a bit of weight to it, it seems to be able to hold it. I reckon I could, it's got a Velcro thing here that kind of stops the rice from coming out, it folds over. That's what that webbing bit there is for. Got a carry loop, a couple of D-rings so you can attach it to your, get carabiner clips and attach it to your belt and things for running about with. As I said, it comes with a second one which you can use for on top of your tripod if you want, or you can use it as a 4-end rest for that bit and a buttstock rest for this bit. I prefer to use the bigger bag for that. Let's see if we can clear some of this rice up. Throw that into. Because we're all going to need this board for the next product. So, initial reaction at the moment, I think it's completely usable. I will use it out in the range. Well, I will use it for zeroing and stuff, but I do like to have one in the car for when I'm shooting off the bonnet. I know I'm not doing very good with the eye contact here because I'm still messing about with this. I reckon a bit more rice and that'll fill out quite nicely. I think it seems to hold the rice quite good. It seems to be quite robust. The stitching seems to be okay. It's got like a velvety top here, so that gives a bit of comfort. I think another bag would be fine for me, then it would take me to the level that I need, because I don't use this bit. I could see a use for it, but I tend not to use this bit. I'll fill this up and we'll have a try of that. So, out of 10, what do I give this? At £3.49, I've seen worse on the market for 30 quid. I've seen better on the market for 20 or 30 quid, but I've seen worse on the market. I remember a few years back when I was looking on eBay and stuff like that, these were going for around about 30 to 40 quid for the combo, or 25 quid or whatever. At £3.49, bear in mind all of this got free postage, I can't see a fault with this. And I could see it could be easily used. Even if you had to do a bit of maintenance after a while, I reckon that this is a good buy. So out of this, I reckon canvas quality, not great, but for £3.49, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. And I think this would be handy. Genuinely very handy for those guys who do kind of like to do a lot more range work than I do. I only need the one bag. I think this would be useful on top of the tripod though sometimes. But again, fill that up. If it does the exact same thing as this, as I said, 10 out of 10. I do recommend buying one of these if you're going to go on to Temu. It took about a fortnight to come, so if you want one tomorrow you're not going to get it. But yeah, £3.49. That's not bad. Right, let's see the next one. The next one is this. Now I've just taken it out of the package because I was looking for instructions to see what batteries needs. I've got to admit, the packaging is awful. Absolutely awful. Don't even know how it got here in one piece. This is a cap light. So basically, it's a light you attach to your cap. Well, I don't know. Doesn't like, oh, just popped. Well, there's a minus for it. I just popped the battery cover. Right, so it attaches to your cap. Like, I'm not even turned this on yet, so I don't know. So it's got a bit of weight to it. This is, you could do a bit of tensioning on my cap, but kind of does what it says there. It is very cheap and plasticky, and because I've used it on a kind of rim skip, you know, a curved skip, it seems to not like the curve too much. Maybe I just put it on a different angle. The battery latch is very poor quality. It is very light plastic. It's got a clippy button. I reckon if you were going to use this thing, or I was going to use this, it'd be used in emergencies, like if the head torch died or whatever. I use quite a big head torch. My thoughts on it, genuinely, I probably won't ever use it. It was £1.50. It feels like it should be £1.50. Let's see what it's like with some batteries in it. What does it take? Well, it never told me what it took, but I presume it's AAA. There's some AAA here. Looks like it takes 3. Let's see what it does. I never usually do any of these unboxing things. It's just, I thought it'd be a kind of novelty thing. I see them on TikTok all the time, or when I'm on YouTube I get adverts for Temu coming up, and my missus is, well, she's bought a few things and she says it's okay. Battery in. I have to admit, the battery holder doesn't seem to want to clip in. Right, this is absolutely useless, I think. Right, so it's clipped in. So attach it to the hat. These clips look like they will not last anything more than emergency. This is an emergency light only. You're not going to use this day in, day out in the field. You put it on the... Don't get me wrong, with the batteries in it, it's a little bit more tighter. I've got some sort of thread thing that has just came off the light. It looks like the seal for the LED light. So we'll stick the hat on. There's a bit of weight there. Moves the hat down. I don't like my hats too tight. Well, it's got a relative amount of light to it. I reckon it would do you a turn in an emergency. Tighten your hat, put a bandana around your head or something like that. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave it running all the way through the rest of this video. I'm going to see if it will carry on going. So we'll put it down there and we'll see if it's still running and we'll have a look at it. As I said, I'm going to say, oh, for £1 odd, I don't know, it's probably worth about £1 odd. It'd been no more or less than what you would get out of a joke shop or something like that, or a cheap one of those things to throw in your rucksack if you desperately need it. Check it first though. I think it would be a good emergency little torch. If it lasts a couple of hours, it's enough to get you out of a jam. That is the most important thing, even if you have to use it handheld. But £1.40 odd, you get better out there. You get better out there for spending a little bit more and actually investing a bit more. But for an emergency kit torch, be alright. But I'm going to give it 3 out of 10 for as an outdoor product. Right, next item. Here we go. This is the drag rope. Do you know what? This isn't better. I've done a review on a drag rope for bushwear about 4 or 5 years ago. Now, I'm pretty strong, and that seems to be able to take, but it's good canvas, so I bet you it takes a lot heavier weight than what the handle can. The handle feels quite thick. It feels like, you know, anybody use those bungee weights, those resistance bands, it feels like a bit like constructed like that. The stitching looks like normal webbing stitching. It doesn't look like it's going to come away very easily. I still don't like the idea of the picture it gives you on the listing. It gives you somebody dragging a big stag. Well, they actually don't give you a picture of them being dragged, big stag. It just gives you an idea that it should be a big stag that you can drag. I think this would be good for roe deer, foxes, sika, small sika hinds or whatever, calves. You might get away with a small red hind or a red calf, but even then some of them can be above 40 kilos. I wouldn't be dragging anything too heavy with this, but you never know. What I'll do is I'll take this out later. I'm going to have a wee shot later this afternoon. I'll take this out later and I'll see if I can get a drag with it and see how it performs. Do you know, quality wise, for I think this was £3.50. Again, I'll put the prices up of these. Do you know, I have had worse for price wise. You know, a decent piece of rope would cost you a little bit more than that. A little bit of blue rope. You'd probably get 100 metres for about 30 or 40 quid, but I don't know, a lot of guys do make their own drag ropes. But no, I think this would be handy. It could easily wrap up and throw it in your pocket. It's not heavy. The handle feels as a rubber and plastic. It feels good quality. At the moment, for dragging roe deer, I think that would be perfect. So if that's what you're going to purchase it for at £3 odd, don't worry about it. That'd be something you can stick in your pocket. You buy a couple of these if you want. And I reckon this would be an 8 out of 10 as quality wise. But I can't really show you it working right now. I will do a little bit of a drag on it and see. But to be fair, I think it would cope with a 15 kilo roe deer, 20 kilo Sika hind, easy. I don't think it would struggle with that at all. So I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. Now, we are going to come on to the last item. Is something that I'm kind of excited about, because I've seen these go for as much as 40 or 50 quid, and I picked it up for, I think it was £12 or something like that. Now bear in mind, I must have spent about 30 quid, 38 quid or something like that in total for all the items I've got here. This was the one I was a little disappointed about, and I'll explain the reasons first before showing it to you. When you're looking at Temu or Wish or any of those cheap Chinese product things that give you all these ideal items that you think, oh, these are amazing, read the description. I mean, read the description. I don't think they've got a Trades Description Act anywhere in China, for that matter, because you'll see all sorts. I was looking for a replacement for my winter camo balaclava, and I thought to myself, well, instead of going and buying a plain white one, I'll buy one that's patterned this year. And now I got shown it was on the item description, it shows it's a big fluffy, it looked fluffy, like a fleecy type. I didn't read the description, I just looked at the pictures, and I was pretty disappointed when I got this little thin, what I can only say is bikers or racing drivers, it's not even that thick. It's like it is thin, stretchy, kind of neoprene style cotton, I think it is. I'll tell you what it is. There should be a label on it. There usually is. Not even a label on it. I can't even tell you what it is, but it does say it's a multi-sport balaclava. Now, don't get me wrong, with a hat on, it's quite comfortable. I reckon it would take the wind off your face. It's no woolly hat, and it would break up the. It would break up whatever you're showing your face, and it would give you a bit of camouflage in the snow. And it is patterned, but I think this is more like a one for underneath a motorcycle helmet or something like that. And genuinely, I think I'm going to use this for the lifeboat. I think I'll cope quite happy. Oh, I might be able to use it with my winter camo. But I think I'll use this for the helmet underneath my when I go out in the lifeboat. So that will, I genuinely think that's going to be a product for that, for using under a helmet, instead of just using it as a balaclava out in the wilds. However, I was at the same point purchased a DPM camouflage one for the summer, which I'm actually, I've had a look at these and a little bit more excited about this one, because this is more like what I purchased. And again, these were only about £2 odds each, £2.80 or something like that each. And this one, for the summer, is a lot more useful. And I tend to wear a hat, so it sits quite nicely on the face. It's quite comfortable, feels quite light. I don't think it would be too hot in the summer for doing Sika stags or that. It's just sitting there up, waiting up or anything like that. So this one's good, but for the price, for the both of them, you have to read the description. Genuinely have to read the description, because that is not what I wanted for a winter balaclava. However, I have its uses, and as its description, if I'd actually properly read it and not just looked at the picture, it would have been exactly what it is. As in regards to this one's perfect. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, because generally it was my fault. The quality seems quite good. Stitching seems quite good. It's quite stretchy. there is a few frays in the stitching by the looks of it there. The quality is okay, and for what it's going to be used for out and about, I don't think it's going to cause any issues. There's a bit of stitching gone awry there, but that's just on the face mask side of bits. I think it's both sides, is it? Yeah, both sides, so I'll have a look at that. I would say for £2 odd, well, I'll actually drop it because some of the stitching has gone. I would say around about 6 or 7 out of 10, but still, for the money at £2 odd each, you can't go into a shop and buy these for that, so it's actually okay. I'm doing not too bad with the Temu thing. It's not bad. The quality is hit and miss at the moment for these 5 items. There will be more, but this one is a product that I am interested in. And because it's around about £10 to £15 cheaper, bear in mind I got all of this free postage. As long as you spend more than a tenner, I think you get free postage. It's a bullet puller. Now, I looked at the length. I've got 270 here that I can pull. It will do it. It looks like some assembly required. There's the usual. I've got a Lyman's one upstairs that I use for. I don't have a large rifle. Sorry, I've only got a large rifle insert for it because I've lost the small rifle insert. So I was going to purchase another one of these, and so let's build this and let's see if it can take. It's a little bit fiddly, as I said. Cheap poly bag for the wrapping. There's all the bits there. I don't know which one's a large, which one's a small. There's a couple of instructions. I'll have a look at the instructions and see what it says. Different sizes. Collet does 17 Remington, 218B, 22 Hornet, 222 Remington, 223 Remington, 25 Auto, 30 Carbine, 32 Auto, 32 20 Winchesters, 380 Auto 9mm and the 38 Super. The Collet 2 does 22, says LR, but why would you do, or a 38 Special, 357 Magnum, 25-35 Winchester, 250 Savage, 257 2506, 280 Remington, 7mm, 358, 30 Remington, 30-30 Winchester, 762, and goes on. And then Collet 3, 264 7mm, 300 Win Mag, 338 Win Mag, 375 Holland, 358 all Weatherby Magnum cartridges, 378, 416 and 460, 33 Winchester, 348 Winchester, 444 Marlin, 4570 Government and the 5070 Government. The one that's not listed there, well, it doesn't list the 270, but we'll see if we can get one that'll fit the 270. It does tell you that you have to assemble them. Collet 1 has 1 groove. Collet 2 has, right, so that's 1 groove. Collet 2 has 2 grooves. I'm just doing this while you're watching because I want to see if we can work. So what we'll do is Collet 1 has got 1 groove. I'll have a look once we put the rings on it. So you got to add these little rings. Now you go to Lyman's and all that, this will all be done for you. You don't have to do this. I think RBS, not RBS, what's the name of it? Right, so that went on easy enough. That was fine. That was relatively easy. So that one has got, let's call it 3 no grooves. Let's try, what's the next one? Oh god. This is where all, because I put 2 in the same one, now we have no idea which goes to which. So, as I said, let's see if this could work. Get rid of these little poly bags. I mean, these are awful. Genuinely awful. So we can tell that they kind of put them, 2 of these in the same one, so I'm going to have to work out which ones. But they seem easy enough to put together. So get rid of the staticky bags. God, so much static. Don't throw the ring away, David. Right, so we have, doesn't have a groove. That looks like it has 1 groove. Have a groove. Don't have a groove. Has a groove. So let's see what this does. So best way to do it is to do it kind of flat, have them standing up on an end. By the looks of it, put them in their kind of circle, and just roll the bit of rubber ring around it. Feels like I'm castrating tups here. And there we go. And then the last one. Now, I'm a bit worried because it does say that it doesn't have a thing for 270, but we'll see. We'll see if we can fit one in. Right, okay. So, bear in mind, I paid about 12-13 quid for this. Handles. Fancy chair. Oh, it's a very comfortable chair actually. I paid about 13 quid for this. And standard at about 20 to 30 quid. Some are up as close as 50 quid depending on the brand. So we need to find one that will fit the 270. So on my other one, we kind of just slip that in there like that. It holds it in place. Or is it the other way around? I can't remember. Is it that way around? Yep, that holds it in place. And then what you do is you tighten that up so it doesn't shake. And then move these out of the way so they don't go bouncing all over the place. You take one of these, and I hate these things because I'm always afraid that the billet's going to go bang. You need a solid surface to hit on. Oh, I'm feeling something breaking. Oh, well, something broke. What broke? Looks like something broke. They didn't pull the billet. Any breakage in there? Don't know, it might have been bits of rice falling, I don't know. We'll try again. Maybe I've got it around the wrong way. Let's see, I'll have a double check. No, I had it the right way. The collet goes on that way. You stick it like that, in there like that. It obviously didn't tighten up. Let's try a different collet and see if that might be the case. No, that's too small. Might not have tightened it properly. Is this one right? Again, too small. So we'll try this big one again. I'll tighten it down properly this time. Well, there seems to be a scratch there, but I haven't crimped these, so that's it done. Yeah, it did come out. It did work. Undo it. Just needed a little bit more. It did work. They are a pain in the ass. So we'll deprime that. We've got the powder there. So we'll just take the powder out and the billet out. Dispose of the powder. No damage to the billet head. A little bit of damage on the nose. But you could use that powder and that again. I'm not going to. Mainly because I have no idea. The reason why I chose these 3 billets is I have no idea what's in them. I've changed my load quite a few times for the 270 over the last few years, and I've been using non-lead billets through my 270. So in theory, it's like I don't have my rifle zero to these, so it could be something else mixed with rice and stuff now. Anyway, it could be with some it could be 2019 that's in this. Sorry, not 2019. RE19 that's in this, and not RE15 like what I'm using now. Looks like it managed it. Capable. Seems capable. We'll get rid of this. We'll fire another one in. See what it does. Half the price at the moment. I've got no faults over it. Call it, obviously I could use it the right size for. I'll dispose of that powder properly shortly. Move the billet to the side. Let's do another one, because this was the one I was more interested in. It's like I look on this Temu thing, right, and I'm thinking there's trail cameras, there's various other things, there's chronographs. Now I use a Magneto V3, which is awesome chronograph, by the way, and they're £400, £500 at the minute, depending where you go. And I'm just looking at the chronographs, and there's chronographs there that are like the Caldwell ones that are 50, 60 quid, and even the Caldwell ones are 150 to £200. Now I think to myself, well, if that's the case, if they do work with the bigger calibers like the 223, the 243, the 6.5 or the 270, could try that, and that would be a cheaper option for a lot of people to get them properly knowing their speeds. There's so many hunters out there. There's so many guys out there that look at the box and think that's the speed that they get off of their factory rounds. They don't know the actual muzzle velocity of their own rifle, and they get to know the rifle out at certain distances, but they're never able to push it because, or they have certain strange shots because maybe it's a wee bit too far or whatever. And I like to know exactly what each rifle. If you ask me to at any point in time what my 6.5 Creedmoor shoots, yeah, 2,710 FPS. That's with 140 grain ELDM match bullets. This shoots 2,918 with BT Barnes TTSXs. That's a 270. 243 for that shoots 55 grain Sierra Blitzking green tips at 3,768 FPS. So it's good to know in regards to your chronograph. So I'm looking at all these products on Temu, and I thought, well, this one, I need a new one of these. And I thought to myself, these were the 3 rounds that I had sitting about that I didn't know what was in them. Rifle's not zeroed to them. I'm probably not going to use the rounds, so I thought, well, I will save the cartridges, save the primer, save the bullet for another time, and dump the or make them safe. To be honest, is the main reason, is to make them safe, so they're not lying about as full made up rounds. That goes against my account for the firearms. If you're watching from overseas, in the UK, we have a nominated amount of ammunition that we can hold at any one time that's all made up. If you're reloading, you can have the components there to make 20,000 rounds, as long as you've only got, say, if you're allocated 100 rounds, as long as you've only got 100 rounds made up, it doesn't matter. So each round goes against your tally. So we'll give this another bash and see how this goes on. Yeah, that was a lot better. Yes, found a more solid bit. I must have been bouncing all over the place there. So again, cartridge is out in the collet. We'll empty it into the bag this time. Take the bullet out. Now if you do this properly and you know what powder's in it, you can use all these components. Well, apart from the bullet really, but sometimes the bullet does get damaged. This one's got a bit of a dent in it. But you can generally use all these components again. You can take the decapper out of your die, for instance, and you could like resize your brass without the decapper in it as well. So you could, and you can reuse the powder again. So it would save on components. These bullet pullers are actually quite good. Let's do another one. This is the last one now because I needed to get them done anyway. So might as well. While I'm here, at least I'm trying it multiple times so that, oh, I'll just take that off. Then we can see if the thing gets broken or not. At 13 quid, I'm not really bothered if it breaks. I'm giving it a bit of abuse here anyway. The cap seems to be okay. Worried that splits over time because of the pressure you put on it, but it seems to be hard plastic. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 3D printed. The shaft is a solid metal one. The one I've got upstairs, the Lyman ones, is plastic, and it is hardened plastic. The rest of it, it's got a pin through it. And I don't know you all know how these work, but inside the tube here, there's like a little bevel that allows the cartridge to butt onto, or nose onto. So it separates the case from the bullet itself. So when you're putting force down, it never goes past that collet, and it never goes past the shoulder of the case, and it's held by a collet at the top here. Now, what it does is it basically uses the inertia you hitting down to force the bullet out, obviously without igniting the primer, and it allows you to safely take it out. Now I've found a solid point for a hit on this chopping board. We can get we're doing better in taking the primer out. I do feel that this cap is going to crack, though, but I did feel that with the Lyman's one too. That's not an unusual feeling to have. But again, you can either discard the powder. I'm discarding the powder mainly because I have no idea what it is, and I'm making these rounds now safe. Put the bullet out. I can dispose of this properly. Tie it up. If you really want to properly dispose it, you can take it out, put it in a tin and throw a match on it, and it'll ignite. It doesn't explode like everybody thinks it will. It will literally just go and that's it. And you do it a little bit at a time so it gets rid of it, never can be used again. Or you could just throw it in the bin, but to be fair, I usually just use it. I'll just ignite it in a wee tin and and then it's done and dusted, and it can't ignite again. So people do throw live rounds into oil and stuff like that, but if you look at YouTube, there is plenty of videos out there of wet ammunition, ammunition that's been submerged in the sea, ammunition that has been left for a very long time in oil and stuff like that, and it still worked fine. It still fired fine. It still ignited the powder. So be careful with that, because the powder is genuinely waterproof. It will ignite. So there we have it, folks. One bullet puller cost me around about £12–13. Our torch, which is still going on, that I still think is cheap and nasty feeling, but it'd be good for an emergency. That's still going. That's been, what, 20 minutes? Constant use. So that get you out of a bother. We have our balaclavas. The green one, good for the summer. The white one isn't what I wanted to buy, but again, they're not bad quality, and if you're using the white one under a helmet, it would be perfect. We have our drag rope, which is technically a piece of webbing with a handle. To be fair, you could probably replicate this. Whether it be cheaper or not, that would be entirely up to you. For the price I paid for it, I don't know. Well, I can have a look. We'll actually have a look online here just now. So we'll go to the computer, Temu. We'll go to the website. I'm not going to sign in. Go to the website. I could have a look through Temu, and it would be around about. I spent over about 36–38 quid for all of these products. Now, I could easily spend. Have a look at bullet pullers. So on eBay we got the Rob Powers bullet puller at $34.16. Again on eBay we have bullet pullers for £20. There's some at £16. But genuinely that's Temu, £13. But to get the top ones, kinetic ones, £40, £50. Let's see, kinetic bullet puller. There is an. Oops, we've got one up here. There, that's $29.50 from Kinetic. Let's see what Amazon's got. Ah, there we go. There's the Lyman one that I've got. It's a nice handle on it. It does have a metal handle. $34.73. That's. But I paid £34, £36 for all of that off of Temu. We have standard ones, £55 for your press and things, which they're very good. You need to invest in one of those. But then you've got one here, 55 on Amazon, £53 there one for the RCBS one. Power pull kit, the similar kit, but you only get 2 collets. There's £53.50 for RCBS, and basically the whole thing looks like it's made of plastic. So I'll bring it up on the screen. You might be able to see it in the background. So that's £53. That was £12. Does the same job, and I can't complain. So I'm going to give this one no brakes. I've used it a couple of times. Shaft seems okay. Everything seems sturdy. No rattles, no loose bits for now. At the moment, I'll give this 10 out of 10. These weren't that hard to put together. Once you had a look at them, they looked more daunting in the packet. Packaging was awful. You got a plastic bag. But then again, if you think about it, in regards to the environment, the least amount of packaging is going by is very good. You got your light here. Again, look, it just popped off. Yeah, I'm going to give this 2 out of 10, but for the £1 or so that I paid for it, it's probably worth the £1 or so I paid for it. It's a novelty item that will get you out of a jam, so not too bad. I've got the grab rope. Oh, and I forgot, I've got a shooting bag. Now, I will quite happily use that. I will use that, in fact. I'm going to use that every time I'm out. I'm going to get a bag of rice for it, but I'm going to use it. I might not use the second part, but it's a good thing to have. There we go, there we have it. Hunting from Temu. Read the description, look at the prices. If there is anything else you want me to, that you want me to look at on Temu, if I can afford it, I will do it. Definitely things like reloading tools and stuff. There was actually a deburring tool and stuff like that I want to have a look at, see how good that would be. Pocket unifier and things like that for reloading. So there's quite a few tools on there that, if they're like this, will be fantastic. You know, they're £12, £13. And I couldn't find this cheaper anywhere else, so that's not bad. All of this came with free shipping. There it is. Temu. Wasn't that hard. But as I said, like and subscribe and leave a comment. Tell me if you want me to try something else. I am going to get this out in the field tonight. I'll let you know properly on a different short or video how that's went. I will definitely use this. It seems to be holding the rice, no holes or anything. Looks like it's going to be quite good. I think I'll manage that. And I'm going to go and dispose of that powder.